Ladies and gentlemen, today, let us reflect on a matter that touches both our character and our conduct, an issue that shapes our interactions, influences our environments, and reveals the true depth of our values. It is the matter of vulgarity and offensive speech, what they mean, how scholars have defined them, and why our divine guidance warns us strongly against them. Through understanding, we can aspire to refinement, dignity, and excellence in speech. Let us begin with the concept of fauche vulgarity, both in language and in scholarly definition. Linguistically, fauche refers to anything that has exceeded its proper limit. It describes an act or a statement so coarse that it surpasses the boundaries of acceptable behavior. Ibn Sina further explained that fauche, fascia, and fahisha denote what is ugly and reprehensible in both word and deed, and their plural is fawahish. In technical terminology, scholars have clarified that fauche is everything from which a sound nature recoils and that a rational mind finds contemptible. Al-Raghib described it as any act or utterance whose ugliness is severe. Al-Harali added that it encompasses all outward vices detested by natural disposition, rejected by reason, and condemned by divine law, unifying the judgment of nature, intellect, and revelation. We then turn to bada'a, offensive, obscene speech. Linguistically, the word denotes foul, disgraceful expressions. A person described as badi is one whose tongue is marked by vulgarity. It includes openly uttered ugly words, even when they may be truthful. In formal definition, bada'a refers to offensive, repugnant speech, regardless of the accuracy of its content. Al-Kafawi notes that it is the explicit expression of indecent matters through direct, improper wording. Let us distinguish these qualities from similar behaviors. Abu Hilal al-Askari explained that while kabi, ugly, may apply broadly even to appearances, fahish pertains to extreme ugliness and excess. One may say a monkey has an ugly appearance, but not a vulgar appearance, for vulgarity implies an outrageous departure from moderation. Similarly, vulgarity differs from sham. Insulting vulgarity involves expressing intimate or shameful matters with improper words, while insulting is the act of attributing such shame to another. With these definitions in mind, consider how powerfully our sacred texts condemn vulgarity and offensive speech. The Quran tells us in Surah Al-Nisa that there is no good in much of people's secret talks, except in words that inspire charity, goodness, or reconciliation. Commenting on this verse, Al-Sudi explains that conversations devoid of such merit are either pointless or harmful, falling under the category of prohibited speech. True goodness lies in words that benefit others, uplift the spirit, or encourage worship. In another verse of Surah Al-Nisa, God declares that He does not love the open proclamation of harmful or ugly speech, except from one who has been wronged. Al-Baghawi clarifies that the oppressed may speak out, describe the injustice, and call upon God for support without exceeding the boundaries of fairness. Even then, justice, not excess, is the standard. Again, the Quran praises those who avoid major sins and fawahish, the hideous, shameful acts and words, those who, even when angered, choose forgiveness over retaliation. The verses in Surah Al-Najm reaffirm that God's reward is for those who distance themselves from major evils, whether public or hidden, and that divine forgiveness is vast for the human being who strives toward purity. In Surah Al-Araf, God explicitly prohibits all fawahish, both outward and inward. Al-Sudi notes that this includes not only sins of the body such as adultery and similar acts, but also the sins of the heart, arrogance, vanity, hypocrisy, and other concealed moral corruptions. Then we look to the guidance of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, whose conduct stands as the ultimate model. When Abu Abdillah al-Jadali asked Aisha about the character of the Messenger of God, she replied that he was the most exemplary of people, never vulgar, never intentionally offensive, never loud or coarse in marketplaces, never repaying wrongdoing with wrongdoing, but always choosing pardon and graceful forbearance. Scholars note that he neither possessed vulgarity by nature nor adopted it by habit. It simply did not belong to his noble character. Ladies and gentlemen, these teachings remind us that our words are not mere sounds but reflections of our inner selves. Vulgarity and offensive speech degrade the speaker before they ever harm the listener. They erode dignity, weaken trust, and distance the heart from spiritual excellence. But refinement, gentleness, and measured speech elevate the soul. They open pathways to harmony, respect, and divine reward. Let us aspire, therefore, to speech that uplifts rather than injures, that enlightens rather than darkens, that honors rather than debases. Let our tongues reflect the strength of our intellects, the purity of our hearts, and the nobility of our faith. For in the discipline of words lies the discipline of the self.